Hi everyone, thanks for joining me. I'm really excited today because I'm starting this new series on search for the wild koalas. This part of the journey, I'm just scouting out this bushland and it joins the coast. It's about probably 5 kilometers worth of bush. Rumours exist that there are wild koalas in here. I don't know. No one's ever provided any photographic evidence or any proof thereof. It is just rumour. I'm here to have a good look, see if the rumours are true. If they are, I'll definitely be back with more camera gear. The idea of today is just to get out, scout it out, see if they even are here. And then I've got a light meter with me, just going to get some measurements to see what sort of gear I'm going to need to actually capture these koalas in a good bit of photography if they are here. It's going to take, I would at a guess, say a number of scouting trips here to find any. It may or may not be a true rumour, but let's go, let's see what we can find. And let's do this wild koalas journey together. Thanks for watching. So I've just walked in probably 50 meters or so, and at this point we just don't have the eucalypts and the type of vegetation that the koalas are interested in. So I think it's pretty fair to say this section here is not going to have any, and we'll push on further. I didn't anticipate there to be any here because I am quite familiar with this section and I knew there weren't many eucalypts here. So we'll go a bit further and let's have a look and see how we go. That is a wattle bird. I don't think the camera's going to catch it. It's actually really well hidden in the branches and the shadows there, but it is a wattle bird that is singing away there on its own. So we're in a bit further and we're still not getting anywhere near the right type of tree, so continuing on further seems like the only solution. Onwards and upwards we go, so let's head on further. So this is looking a bit more encouraging. This is largely the type of tree that we're after, that would be home or a food source for koalas. So I'm going to have a good look across this one, and hopefully there's more of these as I go further in. It starts to provide a bit of encouragement when we start seeing the right type of trees for the wildlife that we're looking for. So I'll get in, have a good look across here, and then I'll press in a bit further and see if there's any more trees like this. Let's keep our fingers crossed, and we'll venture in a bit further after I check this one out. This here, most people would walk past it thinking it's just a pile of dirt or an ant's nest, but it is actually termite workings. So it has fallen off that last tree that I showed you, and obviously the termites have done a fair bit of damage to that tree. The leaf population or leaf quantity on that tree was hardly there, so I don't think that tree is in the best of health, and I don't think it would have provided much of a food source for any koalas. So there weren't any there, but this might explain why the tree is in such poor health, because this is a section of termite workings that has fallen off the tree, and obviously the termites are starting to have an adverse impact on the tree's health. I'm not sure if you can hear that or not. There is a colony of small finches living in this area now that I've reached. Oh, this is really amazing. They are flying around in the treetops here very rapidly, super fast. They are a really tricky subject to photograph. I will be coming back here for sure to try and capture some of the finches of this area. I'm hoping the camera can capture their beautiful sounds and chirps. You can see from this footage how close this bushland is to the ocean. There are a lot of coastal figs and fig type trees here as well that don't provide much for koalas, but the birds love this type of vegetation. You can see here this tree has snapped off at the base. Looks like it's had a fair bit of borer damage. The borers love softwood, and looks like they've gotten into this and actually damaged the tree, and then it's got quite a fair bit of wood rot in it, and when the winds have got too strong here, it's just blown it straight over. We do have a bush turkey just moving through the undergrowth there. don't want to disturb him, so I won't go any closer. Off to the back here, there is a substantial eucalypt, which may provide a food source for koalas. I've checked out the lower part of it, but there's nothing there. I don't want to go in any further because I don't want to scare off the wild bush turkeys that are in here now at the moment. I'll move on a bit further now. The track runs away from this section, and see if we can find some more eucalypt trees. Oh, here comes the turkey a bit closer now. Just digging in the undergrowth there. We'll let him go. Won't disturb him. And I'll continue on, see if I can find some more eucalypt trees that may give us the elusive koalas that we're looking for. So I've moved up a little bit further. Just off to my right, there is another eucalypt. Again, it's extensively damaged. It's got a huge branch that has snapped off. There's not a lot of foliage on it. I think a lot of the problem is the drought hit this area so harsh in 2019 that these trees have just been vulnerable to storms and damage. There's not a lot of leaves on them. I think it's pretty fair to say this one doesn't have any wildlife in it. Has been quite tricky trying to look through these treetops here because the sun is heading around to our west, and that's coming in from behind these trees that I'm trying to scout and see if there is any wildlife and wild koalas in them. These coastal areas here have a lot of goannas. They like to get on the cliff faces and inclines and do a bit of sunning of themselves. So that's something else I'll keep an eye out for. Probably not going to see any this afternoon. It's probably a bit late in the day and a bit shady, but again, we'll keep an eye out for any wildlife, and if I see anything worthwhile, you'll be the first to know. These trees to the left of picture are what we're looking for. They're the eucalypts. They're also heavily overgrown with vines, so it's making it really hard to look into there. I have had a yellow finch just land. I think it's a golden whistler in that tree that's isolated there on its own. Again, this will be an area I come back to do some bird photography in. The bird life here is just amazing. I'm just about at the beach now. I've had a good look through the treetops here. Can't find anything, but that's the nature of wildlife photography. Sometimes you're going to find stuff, sometimes it'll come to you, sometimes the cupboard will be bare and you won't find anything, which today I can't complain. I've found quite a lot of birds that I'm going to head back and photograph. Going to walk down to the ocean's edge now and just have a look, because sometimes these particular trees can be growing on the western side of the beach. So I'll head on down there and have a look and see what we can find down there. Well, I'm all the way to the ocean's edge now, and I've had a look across the tops of the hillside here and all along the back of the beach area, and there really isn't the type of tree that I need to be looking for koalas. So I think we can put a tick through this area and say it's highly unlikely that there's going to be any here. It's taking a look further north. Looks very much similar vegetation there as well. Very, very similar in terms of trees. So I don't think there'll be anything there. Next port of call is going to be further south. I'll allow another day for that. We'll organise, try and do it in the morning, so I'm not looking into the sun as much when I'm looking into the treetops there for the wild koalas. And hopefully we can find something there this time. Disappointing that I couldn't find anything. Rumours had it that there were koalas in this area, but definitely not in this section that I've gone through. I've walked about 3 kilometres and there's nothing, so we'll call this a day, start heading back, we'll pack all this up, and stay tuned for the next episode of Search for the Wild Koalas, because sooner or later we're going to find one, and that's the nature of wildlife photography. Sometimes you find what you're looking for, a lot of times you don't. Thanks for watching. If you like what you've seen, give us a thumbs up. Even better if you subscribe, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye for now. Everyone, well, we had a bit of disappointment on that first outing looking for the wild koala, but guess what? Today the wild koala has actually ended up in a bit of bushland over the back of my property. I'm really lucky to have this area of bushland that runs through there with a small creek. Found this koala. It's about 15 to 20 metres up in the tree. Got the Nikon out with the Tamron lens. Let's have a look, let's see what this koala's up to. Yes, we have found wild koalas. Absolutely amazing. This koala has stopped there. I always check over the back here most days because koalas do move through here. And this one has only moved in the last 24 hours, probably about 20 metres, 15 metres up in the air. Absolutely beautiful creatures. Just sitting there having a rest.
like I said, it's a really warm day, about 30 degrees. Obviously it's a really nice day for it to sit there in the warmth and just have a sleep. Time is about 12:25 PM, so we're just into the afternoon here in Australia on the east coast. Absolutely amazing. How lucky are we to be able to see this beautiful animal, beautiful koala. Well, one thing I urge all people to do is when they spot these koalas in the wild, get in and let your local council or ecologists know. And also on the mid-north coast here of New South Wales, we have a group, Koalas in Care, that take note and take care of these animals. So it's also advisable to give them a call. Let them know that you've seen a koala. They'll ask you a few questions and then it can get the appropriate care if it needs, or otherwise at least it can be noted where it is and that there is an environment for these beautiful animals to exist. Alright, I'm gonna wind up the video now. We'll let this koala have its rest. Finally, we've got to see one in the wild. Hope you enjoyed it. Once again, if you like what you're seeing, give me a thumbs up. You're also most welcome to share my videos. Even better, hit the subscribe button, then you won't miss any of my latest videos. Thanks very much for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.